over 1,200 young men and women flew the Hawker Typhoon during the Second World War. Tragically, 666 of them made the ultimate sacrifice. Unfortunately, this superb ground attack aircraft is almost forgotten, as it took part not in the Battle of Britain, but in the Normandy campaign and the liberation of Europe. The Hawker Typhoon Preservation Group are restoring aircraft RB396 to full working order to preserve and display this unique piece of British heritage. The gala dinner and charity auction at the Imperial War Museum at Duxford was an important fundraiser towards this goal.
We'll meet again, don't know where, don't know where.
So the project to rebuild RB396 is about rebuilding a Hawker Typhoon so that it can act really as a living, breathing and flying memorial to Typhoon crews, ground crews, the people who designed it, built it, tested it, because we feel they are effectively unsung heroes and have been almost forgotten from the history books.
Till the blue skies drive the dark clouds far away.
After a photograph and a glass of champagne, there's a chance to tour the museum and meet friends and colleagues, past and present.
Tell them I won't be long.
There's also a unique opportunity to browse the Aces High Aviation Gallery, featuring limited edition artworks signed by artists and veterans alike. The live and silent auctions are attracting a great deal of interest, with items as diverse as a picture of Winston Churchill, complete with cigar, to a Battle of Britain flight experience in a Spitfire. But now it's time for the gala dinner, and where better than directly beneath Concorde? Two very special guests here tonight are former Mosquito pilot Colin Bell and Bernard Gardner, who flew the Hawker Typhoon during the war.
It was a really enjoyable aeroplane. It could fly well over 400 miles an hour, and it was very aerobatic. I was called up on this day in 1942 to join the Typhoon Squadron.
The Hawker Typhoon Preservation Group, that's us, exists to raise the funds required to rebuild RB396 so that it may fly as a permanent, living, breathing and flying memorial to all those brave people, especially to those who did not return. When complete, it will likely be the only airworthy example of its type in the world. And once again, thank you for being here.
This is our signature event. It's the first time we've been able to actually put on an event like this, invite people that mean a lot to us on the project. It leapfrogs us into the next stage of the cockpit. It will spread the word and we'll be able to raise that $4.5 million in our time period and get the Typhoon flying.
It's my great pleasure to introduce the patron of this wonderful project. So Air Marshal Cliff Spink left school at 16 and became an electrical engineering apprentice in the Royal Air Force. At the end of his apprenticeship, none other than Battle of Britain ace Al Deere, who was the commandant at Halton at the time, told him that they didn't think he would be any good as an engineer, so they were sending him to be a pilot. And thank goodness they did. With over 40 years of Royal Air Force service as an esteemed fighter pilot and leader, Air Marshal Spink is the ideal person to be the patron of this fabulous project. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Air Marshal Cliff Spink.
The one aeroplane that's missing, as Sam has said so eloquently, is the Typhoon. And with so many brave men who flew them. I was just sitting next to James and Robert Baldwin there. James, whose father was a Typhoon pilot, who significantly shot down 3 Messerschmitts within 5 minutes in a Typhoon. History comes alive. And these aeroplanes are not just metal, they are monuments to the courage that these gentlemen showed during the Second World War. I know this is a great evening tonight, and you're all lending your support. And I hope many of you are around when the day we come and we start that Napier engine and see all 24 cylinders burst into life. I'm really most impressed with your presence, and I'm grateful for all the money you've spent. Thank you.
Tremendous importance in keeping before the public's eye a reminder of what was achieved.
Our next guest is actually one of my personal heroes. Colin Bell joined the RAF in 1940 and eventually became a Mosquito pilot flying Pathfinder missions. He flew 50 missions in the Mosquito, 13 of which were over Berlin. So please welcome to the stage, to draw the raffle for us, Flight Lieutenant Colin Bell, DFC.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great privilege to be speaking to you all tonight and to giving support to this wonderful cause. But I have to warn you that the last time I drew a raffle, I drew my own ticket. So, good luck to you all.
And our spectacular first prize is the lovely print, The Typhoon Strike, and signed by Bernard, who came and joined us in August at the gallery. Thank you very much indeed. And this lovely prize goes to Anna Worthington Lease.
The event was postponed from last year. Almost all of the guests have rolled their tickets over from last year to this year, which is really fantastic to see.
We're actually going to bring Bernard to the stage now. So Bernard Gardner and Project Director Sam Worthington Lease, ladies and gentlemen, please.
So I went to Southern Rhodesia for flying training. I was left without an instructor for a time. So when the instructor came back, so he took me up and said, "You do a loop." So I did a loop, and the perfect loop came. They hit the slipstream on the way up, so boom, at the bottom of the loop. Said, "Do that again." So I did it again. Said, "You're for fighters."
Well, there you go.
A lot of the operations were with rocket firing against the German zigzag trenches.
And when you flew the Hurricane, you got authorised once to do a low-level trip not below 200 feet.
But I managed to find a hawthorn tree which was 200 feet high. There were a number of Land Army girls working in the field, and I decided to show them what a wonderful airplane the Hurricane was. And in past, I didn't notice the hawthorn tree at the far end of the field, so I collected a radiator full of hawthorn twigs.
What do you think about RB396 taking to the skies in the years to come?
Oh, I think it'd be wonderful to see it flying again. I don't think they'll let me fly it, but...
Well, the offer's there, Bernard, if ever you want to. Our original target date was 2024. How old will you be then?
102.
And are you going to come and see it?
I will, indeed.
Yeah. So there we go. Bernard Gardner, ladies and gentlemen.
And mechanically, the rear fuselage is the first section to be rebuilt, and that is very nearly finished. The next section is the cockpit, that's just started, the engine at some point, the wings, the tail section, bringing us to a total of around $5.5 million. In rough figures, we're approximately a fifth of the way there.
So, ladies and gentlemen, please, it's time to start digging deep as we welcome for our live auction this evening. This is Hamilton Bland.
Lot number 10. This is the set of reproduction SAS War Diaries, 1941 to 1945, published in a limited edition, or 150 copies, to mark the 70th anniversary of the Special Air Services. £3,000 I've got. £500. 3,500 I've got. I'll take 250. 3,750. £4,000. Yes? 4,250. Going once. 4,005. Put your hands together. £4,500.
People seem really happy. This is the first event of its kind for us, and I'm just really pleased about how well it's gone.
So if we can raise some money fairly quickly, the build is probably in the region of 4 to 5 years from where we are now.